What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to What's Working Wednesday. That's a rhyme, right? That counts as a show, or as a catchy name for something, right? If you call it catchy, but at least a name for something. Let's see what trade I want to look at. Gonna do a little bit of a trade review. Although I need to really start recording my screen again. I took a couple days off of recording my screen and it has been super annoying. Wasn't even intentional. Just keep forgetting. Sup. DB85. Let's take a snapshot of this. You know what I was thinking today about what stock? I don't own this stock or any like mini swing position trades, but you know a stock that I was thinking like, man, I bet this one's gonna have good earnings. Not that that means anything, but is gonna do good this year. There's a stock behind me on this screen. Good old Lululemon. See me, Lululemon, L-U-L-U. Hey, Ocon. Just saving a quick picture. What up? How was y'all's day? For the people that are here, well, I'm just doing a little bit of prep. How was y'all's day? Decent. Hopefully people didn't get back and they caught early. Let's go prep that Tesla chart so we can look at that from earlier today while we're sitting here. What y'all think about the market after I left? I only traded for 30 minutes today for those who were here. Silver. Don't care about the 5, so we'll just look at these two. And let's go over on the 2-minute. Alright. Next time I do one of these, I'm going to record. I'll make sure I record my trading throughout the day. Nice and green. Good. 80. Good. 85. What was tricky? I mean, the price action in Tesla was definitely tricky. Yeah. Bandit style. That's honestly like if y'all like, yo, what's working? Yo, bandit style, taking the money and running is what's been working. I'm going to talk about this Tesla trade and how I've just identified. What up, Jay? Yeah, it did. It ended down. That's cool. Move me kind of out of the way here a little bit. Shrink me. Email. That's nothing. I actually have done, so y'all saw, now that I've got everything kind of up on the screen, y'all saw the chat. I know some people who are commenting here did, so I'll throw it up. Well, first, let's kick the show. We'll kick the intro, and then we'll get into what we're going to do. The Qs really messed with Tesla this morning, and I would have gone a lot heavier if the Qs were better. It was just one of those days I was like, man, I could feel Tesla not working. Like, there was a chance with the Qs just going down. I was like, man, this could fail and ruin it. And I didn't want to ruin my day when I didn't have a full day to trade. But we'll talk about that. So let's talk about today. Let's talk about what I've been doing in the market. A little bit about Discord, a little bit about a few other things, and you know we'll see where it goes. So like always, guys, I'm Gator. Let's navigate the swamp. Welcome to my swamp. Whatever the intro is, welcome to the show. Let's talk about the market. There we go. So, yeah, my what's up, Naveen? Hope you had a good day, brother. I know you've had a, you came back yesterday. So, question, did coming back yesterday, and hopefully you stopped, set you up to trade well today? How do you do today? You do all right? So while you're still, it's not red. So, few things while we get going, then we'll talk about Tesla. First thing being Discord group. If you want a link to join the Discord, you're not a member, there's a link in the description of this video. If you get blocked, message me or something like that. I had a bot that was accidentally blocking some people. So a few things. First, and it looks like it's going to automatically archive. But I did post in our new trade review channel, if you watch Monday's show, you'll see that a thread was created for trades I did yesterday. Anybody, I believe, can create these threads. So you can create these threads. You can go in. I'll put myself as online. You can go in and you can create these threads where you post charts and post a trade describing what you're thinking, entries and exits. So I did one here with Square and one with Google yesterday. After I did the this, I think it disappears after 24 hours and it goes into archive, or maybe somebody, because I had a Google one posted too, someone might have just changed that one and made it an archived thread. But I believe you can still go back and look at them. Like this is the one from Google. It's just after 24 hours, I think it'll go away if people don't talk about it. But you can watch them there. You can see them there. I encourage other people to use this kind of feature here to kind of just talk about trades, to show, you know, your entries, your exits, what you were thinking, why you took it. Like I said in the comment that earlier, that it's not about like, oh, I made this mantra, I lost this mantra, I did this, but more about what you were thinking about in the trade, what you were trying to accomplish, the way you got back, you know, something like that. Or, you know, you want someone to check out what you were doing, why this didn't work, so they can look at their charts and maybe, you know, maybe like it was Tesla this morning, what made Tesla hard was the Qs failing. And if you're not using, you don't have to use it, but that, along with Drew's trade show that, you know, his trade review show that he came on to talk about on Monday, you know, if you're having a hard time, the best you can do is, or the work, I mean, it's not going to hurt you if you're already having a hard time, to use some of these resources. We're here as a community to help people get better and to help people learn. So we're trying to add resources that will help people do that, that are a part of this family. So that's there. You can kind of see that. You can go do your own thing. What I'm going to do in tonight's show is kind of talk through the same thing with Tesla. I don't think I'll post it, but it was the same theory as what you guys saw in my Square and Google trades yesterday. Same thing in Tesla earlier today, except it was more aggressive. Second thing is, when you jump in, and if you ever see our Discord and you see this here, little gray thing up here in the corner, it means there's an event going on, and you can see event details here. So if, you know, I started the event, so you'll see, oh, the event detail is actually happening. You'll also see active threads if you want to see things people create. Let's say that they have another thread they created that they want to talk about something specific instead of clogging up the chat, and they want something that they can really just go into depth with. You know, you can create an active thread, and then look, that's all the active threads. So you could name the thread. I see a few people were talking about meeting up, you know, instead of going through here and trying to find everything, you could just create a thread and you could have a conversation within a thread, find the active threads. When it's done, you can remove the thread and it'll be archived, or you can delete it. All that being said, just a few Discord things. I'm going to continue to push or kind of promote that trade review show, and using the trade review feature in Discord, if nothing, just to help out other people, even if you're finding something that's working. Maybe you see something I don't see. You know, I want to post losing trades when I have some that's like, man, I really wanted this to work and I took this here, and, you know, maybe somebody can show me why it didn't work. So I'll post both winners and losers in there. Okay. So yeah, if you guys like that, let me know. Oh, the pic. Oh, did you record me? Jess? And you go by JD or Jay over in YouTube, or Jay, is that not you? I can never tell who's on YouTube and Discord. Yeah. Tell me what time. So here's a good one. Yeah, I wish I was recording today. I was so pumped. So that's what we're going to talk about is Tesla. I did 2 test trades prior to this entry. So let's jump into this Tesla trade. So I sat down at my computer today and I knew I had 30 minutes to trade. I was leaving at 10 o'clock and then so it was like, okay, you have 30 minutes. So what can you not do? You can't go too aggressive, you can't go too heavy, and you can't jump in early. You need to find a good setup. On the last couple shows and in those trades that I posted the other day, I've been saying I'm looking, and early on pre-market, I said I'm looking for names that are strong or weak, that are like you look at, you're like, well, yeah, this name is strong. The market was absolute garbage early. If I go over to a triple Q's chart, which this is actually, no, they're all linked. That's kind of annoying. Let's see if it'll hold the time frame when I jump over. There's my triple Q's. It does. So look at the Q's and look at Tesla. You can see the difference. So early on, I'm like, okay, everybody knew Tesla was strong. It's like the Q's are going down and Tesla's strong. Now I did not trade. I think I tried a scalp or two for like testing. So the trade that I called was my 3rd trade of the day. The other 2 were test trades, like a few contracts, buying like at a breakout to see if I was getting good fills or PI. Because sometimes you don't get PI, but you get good fills. So it was like, okay, how is this contract? And I tried the 980s and the 990s, and neither one were great when I did it. So I just stuck with the 80s. I generally choose in the money. I want to hear that recording, Jess. You have to send that. I want to choose the in the recording or in the money options. If I'm defaulting, I usually go there. Right or wrong, that's usually my default. So Tesla was strong. It was going up at 9. And I knew that, and we all knew that. We knew it was strong, and we thought it was going to run. I thought in my head, my trading plan at that time, I looked at it and I was like, okay, Tesla is going to go up, and it broke yesterday's close. It broke yesterday's close at 938. So at 938, it broke yesterday's close. I was like, okay, this name is strong. It broke yesterday's close. The top of this was 997.95, and it pulled down. That was resistance. So it hit some resistance. Yesterday's high, I believe, or just at it, and then pulled down. It's like, okay, here's the pull down I wanted. Just like I talked about in the trades I posted yesterday, and in shows, this is what I've been looking for. I was like, here it is. Here's the pullback. I was just thinking in my head, it's going to stop. All I was thinking, it's going to stop before it hits 100 or 1,000. If it doesn't, I'm going to miss it. It's going to stop, and it's going to pull back. I'm taking that pullback. I'm buying on the pullback. So it was like, all right, pull back, 940. So I got in on this candle, 939 and 25 seconds. So I got in somewhere on this candle, and I held through the chop of this candle. So 87. So I got in somewhere in the mid 90s. $91, $92. I don't remember where. And then I held through this, and my stop, let's see, my stop was the bottom, somewhere in the middle of this candle. Like I was going to give this one some room. I think I was going to give it till VWAP. I looked at it, I bought it at the bottom of this candle, and I was like, okay, I'm going to give this room down to VWAP. And I assumed I was going to lose about 2 points on it. I got in a little bit earlier because I was slightly more aggressive, but like I said, I usually like to buy the bottom of these candles, and I got in somewhere in here. I wish I would have recorded the screen. I could have told you exactly where I got in at if I was watching it live, but I do remember the time, so I'll post the trade in just a second. It pulled down. I held it because the option didn't tank a lot. Like I might have been a point down. But here's the trick. I only took 10 contracts. And my plan was to give it room to work and to give myself roughly 2 to 3 points in contract movement, because on the day with 10 contracts, 2 to 3 grand with 30 minutes. If Tesla's really strong, I can kind of make that up. That was my mindset. It's like, it's okay. I'm going to give this a point or two. I hadn't taken any front run losses of subsequents before this, so here was the trade. Got in at 939.25 at 29.26, so there it is, and then sold at 941.09. What am I doing? 941.09. 941.09 was right after it broke 1,000. So I got out about 1,002. Like when it whipped up, it went through 1,000 and it kind of stalled. I sold, and then Rose was like, I think this could run, and it pulled down below 1,000, just below 1,000. And then as it went back through, I actually jumped back in, and then I caught part of this second candle for another point, so you could add another point onto that trade. And I held that whole chop, and I held everything. And that's why I was so pumped and so excited. Oh, dude, I did. And I think I was pumped. I was like, man, this was just like the call out. I think I told you guys, like, I really like it at this area, and I didn't add, but when it was near VWAP and it started ticking off VWAP, I'm like, I really like this right here. I really like this right here. And then whatever I said, it started ticking up, and then it was just like, I just held it. I didn't even think about selling. The plan was get in and you're not selling till it hits 1,000. You're going to lose 2 points or it's going to hit 1,000 on your option contracts. And so I took that, and wherever that trade was, yeah. And I let that run. That was 7 points, a little over 7 points, and then I caught another point when it pulled under 1,000 and then went back through. Didn't play the follow through as well as I could have, but I was happy with where I was at, and I was pumped, not just because of making 7 points on 10 contracts, because and this is a great trade. This is good money. This is a great trade. This is, it was because I followed my plan. And at this point in the day, we were 10 minutes into the day, and the only trades I had taken were test trades, which is what I wanted to do. Kind of like how I talked about in those pictures I posted, where it was the square in the Google. It was like I was waiting for a setup. And I sat there, and some of y'all might have played it better. Some of you might have made it more money than me. Some of you may have played more aggressive early, and you just bought it at the open and you held it through. I don't know. But to me, I had a plan, and I got in at the right size, because if I had 20 or 30 contracts and I got in here, I probably would not have held it as well when it pulled down, and I could have got shaken out. I took 10 contracts instead of taking 30. Not because I didn't think it was going to go, but because I knew my mindset's like, you got 30 minutes to trade. The cues were weak, so I had to take everything into account when I was doing the trade. It's not just, I think Tesla's going through. This is kind of choppy action. Yes, Tesla is incredibly strong, but the cues are taking a dump right now. It's like, can I get in? Yeah, sure. Have I seen this happen before when Tesla's strong and the cues ruin a trade? Yes. What's the best way to play this? Is the best way to play this smacking the crap out of this thing and just, who knows what happens, and maybe you don't make the trade correctly, and, who knows? Or take something, 10 contracts, which is, a good size, but a decent trade. Take 10 contracts and be like, I'm going to give this a little bit of room to work. The price is choppy. You had this igniting bar down here off VWAP, so I'm going to give it at least to VWAP. And if it breaks down through VWAP, I'll sell, and I'll probably lose 2 to 3 points, and that's okay. I don't mind being down that and being, being done, or maybe scalping a little bit and getting back. So I know how long I have to trade. I know what I'm going to have to do. Let's give this trade room to work. Let's get in it. It got down near VWAP. It started ticking off VWAP. I'm like, oh man, I like this. All right, I like this in this area. And then it just went, and I was not down money after that. And the reason I was so excited in chat, and that I was like, boom, whatever. And at one point I was like, is this going to like halt? And the reason I thought that was because I think my Fidelity froze when it broke 1,000, and everything just sat still. Like, I was watching, I was like, my bid and my ass stopped moving, everything stopped moving. I think it was fidelity lag, but it looked like it was. Obviously it wasn't, but that was what was going through my head. And then before I left, I said, guys, only buy the pullbacks. And I made more after that. Like, I scalped around a little bit more, and I actually ended up a little bit higher than that. But you can see what kind of waiting for a setup and waiting for a trade you want, how beneficial that can be. And that's why I was so excited about Tesla. It wasn't just because I made money. It was because I made money the way I wanted to make money, which was sitting there and waiting for the right trade and taking it. And if you know the strategy, it's like, okay, so we popped up, we popped through day highs. We're obviously stronger, way stronger than the market. So we have a strong name in a weak market. We pull down. You have a green takes red. If nothing else, you don't buy off VWAP. You buy the break, of this candle, or you front run this green takes red, and you still probably catch 3 points or 4 points on this pop. This buying it early probably only made me an extra point or two. Be that as it may, that's your play. And what I realized and what I've been thinking through this week and what I've been telling myself is you don't need, and I've known this, but like knowing it and then like legitimately like acting on it are two different things. And Kelly said something about it too. I don't need 50 trades or 100 trades to make my money. Now I can scalp, but if all I do is I come in and you have a pattern you recognize or something you're looking for, and if the market's trending and if it's there, all you need in a sense is to execute your plan early. If there's a name like this, you're not always going to catch 7 points on a trade, but it's like it was so obvious that this was strong and all it had to do was hold up. It's going to pull back at some point, buy the pullback, take a little scalp, and 2 minutes later you're done with your day. I didn't have to trade after this. Like, if you could do that, and it's not that easy, but if you could do that every day, you could be done. You could literally work that, that's 10 minutes into the day and you could just walk away. You don't have to sit there all day. Then after that, I sized down and I said, it's not now important to make more money. I'm just going to do a few more smart trades and try to find a few more good things out there. And that was all I was looking for. And I executed my plan. And that's what's been working for me this week. That's what worked for me on Monday, on Tuesday, and today. And last Tuesday and last Wednesday when I did a show, I said I'd given up my month the day before. And I think it was over 2 days or something. I had given up my month. And now I'm back where I was last Wednesday. So I've come back, made my month back. I'm still not having, it's not like it's the best month ever, but I'm still having a good month. I've made most of what I lost back. I think, I don't know my exact numbers. I don't look at my P&L of the month through the week. But all in all, I'm proud of how I traded because I gave it back. I gave it up initially, and then I gave it back by, okay, I'm just got to make a plan and stick to that plan. Not make it back in a day. It's a week later, and today I got it back. But it's just intelligent trade. What's been working? Okay, just find the pullback. Find the name that's really strong, and then buy the pullback. And that's what I've done the last few days, and that's been the thing that's working. Not as much the hyper scalping. Hyper scalping has worked some, and I have made some in it, but it's definitely worked. But definitely finding the pullback and the name that's either extra strong or extra weak, and taking it at the bottom of a level or at the bottom of a pivot nearer support is what's been working. It was like Kelly's second trade, and he nailed it. But his ad was the nail. Like, he said he was in Tesla, and then I don't remember where it was. Do you guys remember which one it was, the time frame? If somebody can post it. I can't remember. I was almost gone here. I don't remember what trade it was. It might have been here. It might have been on this bar. Like when he said he added or something. I can't remember. Where did he add? But either way, he added to a position, and then it went And that ad 948, 948. It was the big red candle. It was this one? Oh, down here. 952. Yeah. This was the second trade I caught. Um, and I got in near Kelly's ad. Yeah, his add more. That's when it was, Naveen. It was when he added more. It was when it was down at the bottom down here. And what I saw was this candle was when Tesla started ticking up here. Because this was kind of back here where this happened and it popped up. So in my mind, like I was looking at this chart and I added somewhere in here and I was smaller size, so I didn't make enough and I didn't catch the whole run, but I caught some of this move here. And I was done on this candle. I think I held this one. Let me see. I can actually look at my stuff. But either way, that second ad is often what I'm looking for in some of these pullbacks or some of the names like this. Like I'm missing some moves. I'm not catching all the moves and I'm okay with it because I'm looking for the moves that are giving me the entry that makes it an easy trade for me. Kelly's first trade, when he took it up here and then it dropped 10 points, I would have lost there if I followed him. The trade for me that was easier was here when it failed to break down. It's like you have a 2-minute bar that breaks down. All right, another one that broke down, another one that broke down. Okay, the next one opens up. So in this candle here, is it going to break down? No, it actually breaks up. Okay, so instead of now having you buy on this bar right here or right here, it's like, okay, it's going up instead of going down. All right, I'm going to buy on this bar as it goes up. Now my stop is automatically, let's see, the bottom of this bar. So you have a $2 to $3 stop, and you just have a shorter stop. And that's really what's been working for me, is trying to find the safer entries and the ones that give me a quick out. So I have the scalper's mindset of the exit. So it's like if I get in and it doesn't work, I'm still out fairly quick. Or I give it, I'm so small size that I can hold the chop without getting hurt. And then I let the trade go a little bit. And then I sell into the volume. Do a fib from 44 high. Is that 44? You mean this one here? Hang on. To open low to 44 high. Gotcha. Sorry. Let me do it on the 2-minute. Open low. I drew this fib earlier too, actually, in the day. This one? That's 38. That's 44. There you go. Yep, look at that. That 61% right there. I drew this one too. I was worried that Tesla wasn't going to go because it retraced past 50. Yeah, I saw this too. There you go. 46 high. A pullback challenge. But I mean, I'm not like, it's not bragging, it's nothing. It's just like, that's honestly how I made my month back from being red, and from giving up my month. It wasn't by scalping, by going heavy, at least for me heavy. Like this is modest size. Like if I'm taking 10 contracts, that's average to low size, and I'm fine with that. But that's $7,000 right there in a few minutes. And maybe I made more, maybe I didn't if I traded early. But I've noticed in myself, it's like, you're losing early, dude. You're losing early. So just stop and wait for the pullback. You know, it's hard to go long into resistance when there's, you know, there's trend lines above your head, there's moving averages on the daily above your head, every pop is choppy. It's like if you're just quick scalping things for 5 seconds and you're buying on the pops, those pops are going down and the price action isn't smooth enough. Okay, so what do you have to change? You either stay in your OODA loop of doing what doesn't work, or you shift something. And what I've been shifting is I just buy the pullbacks. I don't buy the pops. If it pops, I miss it. It's like, okay, where's the pullback? And I buy the pullbacks. Now, if something just starts running, of course I'm going to buy it, you know. like, I'm not saying I'm just going to let something run forever without me, but finding that pullback entry is good. Like if I took a front run loss, which I probably did on this one, I would have tried to get in, like these would have been my front run losses on the 2 minute. It's like this candle, unless it like opened and ripped down, but if this candle sat here, I probably would have entered it because it's on the 2 minute 8. So we went up. Here's where my front run losses probably were, right here on the 2 minute 8. If this candle sat still instead of ripping, now if it ripped down, I wouldn't have taken it. If the Qs were tanking, I probably wouldn't have taken it. But if it would have sat still on this 2 minute 8, I would have bought on this 2 minute 8 because it's in a pullback. And it's going to do one of two things. It's just going to break down, or you're at a good entry point. And so I'm not buying up here near a breakout where the fail is going to probably hurt more. I'm buying trying towards the bottom of this candle. All right, this one breaks down. We go up. Okay, this one pops some. And we're at this trend line, or we're at this fib level, this 38% fib level. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. I might try some more here. So I might have tried some here, depending on what this looked like on the 1 minute. And I'm just talking you through what, this looks like there was some selling. I'm not sure. Let's look at the Qs. This was the 50, 50, and 52. Here. So you were near the bottom, but your stochastics were pointing up, and it wasn't, it looked weak and crappy, but it wasn't horrible. And you see the Qs went up, and that's when Tesla went up. That's kind of a trend too. It's like as the Qs start going up, you could see Tesla was going up. So, you know, Tesla pulls down. So in here, I probably would have taken a front run loss here. I can guarantee it. Or here, actually, because we hit the 21. So we hit the 1 minute 21. Unless this tanked, I would have taken a front run loss here. That's fine. Probably wouldn't have got anything here because of how it was pulling down. And you got this big red bar, so I want two things to happen. I either want it to pop up and give me a little bit of momentum up so this candle doesn't look like this, or I want to wait for the next bar to open. I wait for the next bar to open so we have a new 2 minute candle, and then you have a stop is the bottom of the previous 2 minute candle. So $88, this opens up at $88.16, this opens up at $89. You basically buy within the first 5 seconds, 10 seconds of this candle opening, and you have a stop. That's the bottom of the previous candle. And you're on the 61% fib line. That's kind of how I've been trying to look at my trading recently. And it's just adapting to the market. I'm glad you like the square. And I see that in names like Apple and in other names too. It's like, man, I can see that I can make it in this, but I needed to buy the pullback, and I needed to get a good entry to hold the chop. I really like that square trade was. I practiced those, so I've been doing this since. For the last week, I've been trying to do this. I've been trying to... 952 is the place to jump in the trade. 953 was. 953 was the place to jump in the trade. Personally, 952 or 953. And Geronimo actually started talking in here about the Qs pinching VWAP and busting out, and that also helped my confidence in taking this trade. The second trade. So, and I've been doing this for the last week. I haven't talked about it as much, the square stuff and the other stuff, is because I've been doing it with really small size on the side of scalping. And I've been kind of like testing. It's like, well, what works better right now? Nothing wrong with scalping. I still scalped. I still had, how many trades did I have today? Because once Tesla got in that choppy range, I still scalped it. And within that 30 minutes, oh dang, I had more trades than I thought. I still had... Can I select all? Does it tell me how many I selected? Yeah, I don't know. I still probably had in 30 minutes over 30 trades. I should have counted. And most of those were in a short time frame. Like they were, like here's a 5-second trade, 5-second trade, 10-second trade, 3-second trade. And I was buying the pull downs in Tesla, and then as soon as it would pop just a little bit, I would sell and catch 30 cents 40 cents, you know, and I wasn't holding them. So I'm still scalping. It's not like I've given up. Later, Ari. Catch you tomorrow, brother. Um, so it's not like I've given up on scalping. I still love scalping. It's just it's like, man, you're having a hard time. Well, what's working? Well, I mean, Kelly stuff he's still doing his thing. Okay, well, these other things are still working. Um, Names are still running and pulling back. You're just not scalping the breakouts as well. Okay, what do you have to do? What do I have to do? Well, why don't I just buy the pullback and give the trade a little bit of room to work? Size down so I can like mentally handle and teach myself to hold something like Con, like having like that hold longer challenge. And it's not necessarily longer, it's just holding to a target. Like for me, it's usually it's like two green 2-minute bars, or 3 unless it goes through a level. And I don't think there's anything wrong with holding a trade longer as long as you're not holding it because it's red. And to me, that's the key. It's like if I held a trade longer, it did pay off great. And I could have sold Tesla today as the green takes red went through right here. What am I doing? Like right in here as it broke through day highs before it hit 1,000. But I didn't. I held it because I thought it was going to go, and I had a plan for that trade. The plan for the trade was to buy on the pullback and hold to 1,000. That was the plan. Now, if it failed 1,000 and pulled down, I probably would have sold, especially violently if the Qs would have kept tanking. So it's like you give yourself wiggle room. It's like I'm not going to lose just because I had a plan. I prefer to take the money. I still have the mindset of taking the money. But if you have a plan going into it and you're just consistent with it, which is what I was doing with the Square stuff, Con, and with Google, it was like, okay, you know this works. Get the pullback, wait for the plan to develop, let the name go, and let it happen. And it's stupid simple. It's harder to do sometimes, but it's stupid simple. That's what I like about it. Like, I'm not telling you guys anything that's difficult or hard, or like it's some secret knowledge that you can't get, or you have to pay $1 million for to take some course. It's like the market's still moving. It's still making it move. It's still making the moves. If scalping is choppy, change how you're scalping. And you can still do it. You can still make the money. Find the name that you're used to trading, a name that is stronger than the market. What did I say before we started today? I'm looking for a name that is stronger or weaker than the market. That's like, oh, the market's sitting still and this name is tanking. Okay, let's look at that name. And then, okay, now the market is pulling. Now that name kind of popped a little bit, and now the market's starting to fail. That name's at the 8. I'm going to short it. You know. That, or something like Tesla. It's like, man, the market's going down, but Tesla's this uber strong, but it's really choppy, kind of hard to trade. There's not good PI right now. Well, am I just going to keep scalping and like giving up money? No. Okay, well, what do I need to do? What's going to happen? At some point, Tesla's going to pull back. Unless it just starts ripping with crazy volume and the market starts shooting up, let's just wait. All right, I'm waiting. I missed this whole move. I didn't trade anything in here. This is, I mean, the trade I showed you guys was like my first actual trade, other than trying to figure out which contract was best. So what, 8 minutes in, I'm just watching Tesla go up from where I thought it looked good to buy, which you could have done. It's like, nope, I just let it go. It's like, okay, 97.95, that was yesterday's high. I bet it pulls back. All right, it pulls back. All right, I got in it at this candle, and that was the trade. I was super happy. And hopefully I didn't make it. Hopefully I didn't make anybody toxic. Was that a little bit too much when I called that out, Jess, or anybody else? Well, yeah, you almost have a measured move if you have that kind of first leg, and you kind of know how it looks like in the market. You know. I mean, you can see that right there. Like, look at that, Con. So it's like I can see it, I can see the move perfectly. It's like you had that first leg, wait for the pullback, and then buy it. not as easy as that. But yeah, and the reason I kind of bragged on that call was because I called it out, and it was just, I don't know, to me it was one that was worth. It was like we were all playing the same name. Like if I'm playing Square and you guys are playing Mitchell, or and Mitchell's playing Amazon, or Tesla, and Rose is playing Amazon, and the trade I called out is running, I'm probably not going to get as like animated about something. Um, but if like we're all trading Tesla and I'm like, okay, I like this here, I'm gonna get in it here, and then you know it goes, I'm like, I'm holding it to 1,000, or I'm letting this go through 1,000, and then it busts through 1,000. We're all making that play, and it was a clean call out and stuff like that. It's just like fire. It's like when a plan comes together, and to me, it's one that's worth bragging on. And I know everybody didn't get it, but sometimes you just gotta have fun, you know. But yeah, to your point, here's your like 1 minute kind of measured move and pullback. You know, if you want to do the whole measured move thing, you've got, you know, a pop here, a pull down, and then, you know, it goes. So it makes this move, pulls down. You have a know your limit 21. So C strategy wise, if you guys are watching this in C strategy, you have a name that's stronger than the market. It's above the open. It has one negative against it. It gapped down instead of gapping up, but it's super strong. Market's super weak, so you definitely like this name. It pulls down. It is a mixture of strategies. You have the, let's see, you have the 21 and the 8 at least as a strategy, and a green takes red. I can't say it's like a 2 minute anything because it hasn't pulled off of anything yet, but you at least have, you know, those two strategies that work, the know your limit 21, know your limit 8. You can buy that 1 minute breakout. There's your play, which that's just fine. If all you did was buy this 1 minute breakout, you were good. Or you could have bought it where I did, which really didn't give you much better pricing than buying it at the breakout, but that's just a way I play it. You could just play that breakout, and there you go, you move through 1,000. If you tried to buy it up here and it was like, man, it just went through yesterday's high, okay, it's going to go to 1,000, what happened? You probably got shaken out and you got pulled down. If it got up here and you're like, hey, maybe it goes without me, I'm just going to wait for the pullback, that's what I'm looking for, or I size down and I scalp it, you're okay. You trade super aggressive in here, you get shaken out on this pullback, you're down, like if I would have played this with 10 contracts and I bought here and then got shaken out, I might be down 3 or 4 grand. So now I'm down 3 or 4 grand, and who knows what happens in this area, and then it pulls down, and let's say I catch that move, and even if I'm mentally clean from being down 3 or 4 grand, that whole $7,000 trade is nothing. Like it, okay, now I'm just up, you know, 2 grand. And then I could get toxic from that, or then you could do whatever and you could try to do more. So instead of just being up 2 grand at this point in the day, I'm up 7 grand. The difference was not trading this. That's what's been working for me. I'm not saying that's going to work for you. I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm just saying after I, okay, as soon as it exports, I think it came through. Let me see.
Boom.
I'm out.
That's Geronimo. I can hear Geronimo.
1,000, baby.
Beautiful.
Bam. Done for the day.
Beautiful. There we
That's
go.
it,
I'm
son.
selling
All
right here.
day, every day.
Gorgeous.
This is what we do.
Nice.
Got in like 3 or 4 seconds after I
Gotta
called,
love it,
like right
Kelly.
about here.
There we
Bam.
go. All right, it's on. Like
Ye
Donkey
freaking
Kong.
ha.
Y'all can hear that, right? Thanks, Jess. And then there's the longer version, the 44-second one. Can y'all hear that? Ye freaking ha, son.
Right here.
Here we go. Oh, here we go. Here's when I call it in. So 44 seconds before. I think that's what I'm doing. Or I might have said this is a 2 minute, but here we go. Here's the longer one.
Right here.
44 seconds.
97, 80, 95. If we
go.
can bust this level, it could be really good.
Oh, so this is me calling the 2 minute green takes red. This is me calling this.
Come to Papa.
I was already in it.
Break 997. Man. Okay, we broke 1,000. There we go.
Boom.
I'm out.
1,000, baby.
Beautiful.
Bam. Done for the day.
Beautiful. There we go.
That's it,
I'm
son.
selling
All
right here.
day, every day.
Gorgeous.
This is what we do.
Nice.
Got in like 3 or 4 seconds after I
Gotta
called,
love it,
like right
Kelly.
about here.
There.
And I was saying 3 or 4 seconds, meaning back here. Like I called somewhere in here. and it seems longer. Like I said, 3 or 4 seconds. Like that was actually thanks for that, Jess. Um, like me watching the chart, I thought that from when I got in to when I called that, it was like 10 seconds, 3 to 4 seconds. It was like half a minute. Dude, time flies. Like your perception of reality is totally non existent. Like I gave you guys a better call out than I took, but I thought it was like 2 or 3 seconds. But legitimately, it was at least 30 seconds. It's crazy how, yeah, smash that like button for that call out and that ye freaking ha, son. That ye freaking ha. Like that's the, um, yeah, that's the, that was what that, and it was just a good, it was a good call, and it was what we were waiting for, and it was more exciting to me, like I talked about, because my plan was just to wait for that pullback. You know how many times when I have to leave at 10 o'clock that I end red? It's like I'm going golfing at 10 today, and it's like I trade too aggressively and I lose. And I do something else and I lose. Or, this time I was like, you're going to wait for your setup. Tesla was strong. Don't get tempted. Wait for the pullback. The pullback happened. I bought at the bottom of this bar. Held it. It pulled down some. Didn't matter. I wasn't heavy enough. I was going to give it room to work. Let the play happen. That sound clip from Jess comes in as I call this 2-minute green takes red. Boom, threw $1,000. Got out here actually, and then got back in and scalped this follow through for an extra point, and made a little bit more after that later on this call out. I didn't do too much in here. I scalped, but I sized down to 2 to 3 contracts, and then I sized back up to 10 for this move and caught some, but not all of this move, and that was my day. I mean, that was my morning, and you worked 30 minutes. I didn't have to do more. Now, you could have sat here and scalped, and obviously did all this, but who knows? Like, who knows what the days do? You don't have to trade all the trades and catch all the money and do everything to be successful at this. You just have to find something and be consistent with it. And I'm grateful that over this last week, I found a little bit of consistency in the pullbacks and finding the pullbacks and having an idea for a trade that I'm wanting and a level that I want to hit, and then I get in on it when it looks like, it's going to be there, and that's just been working for me. And it's what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow morning when I sit down to trade. And nice measured move from what Geronimo talked about when he was on the show before. If you wanted to target, like if I wanted to target, you could have done this measured move. From the entry point, once it broke out, if you had the time to draw this, you could have drawn that and you would have your measured move. And that could have been your target, like the top of this. It was a perfect measured move in Tesla. And then, over here, same thing. Or, $35. I don't know about that. But so tomorrow, I am not doing anything. And because my knee is hurt, I can't really go golfing, and it's mucky up here in Maryland right now. So I will be home all day. And I have no idea what's going to happen in the market. We're extended in a sense. Maybe we take a breather. Maybe we don't do anything. I'm going to fight trying to make or lose. I'm just going to wait and see what's strong. And for you guys watching who don't know, like, I don't trade CFVI. I don't trade GME that much, but just looking at these names, these are the names, and I add a few to them sometimes and take some off. But these are my watch list every day. Like, I don't have to post another watch list because these names, Amazon, Tesla, Google, GME, I guess, Moderna, Nvidia, Netflix, Square, Microsoft, Facebook, Roku, I added that today because, why did I add that today? There was a reason I added it. Oh, long-term stuff. Yeah, I added that because of long-term stuff. I haven't traded it. But I really just looked through these names. I'm like, okay, how are they reacting in relation to the triple Qs? And those are the ones I'm watching. And then I add them to my 9 chart list. How are they reacting? And you guys help me out with call-outs and stuff. Saying this name's good, this name's good. I put those names in here. I'm watching them. I'm listening to Geronimo and others and seeing what they say. I'm like, okay, this is good, Apple's good, this name's good. And then I wait for the pullback, or I wait for the setup I want. So if I see a name running, I'm like, okay, what am I going to do in this name? It's like, Tesla's going strong. I'm waiting for it to pull back, and I'm going to try to get in it. If a name like Square, if you saw the Square trade that I posted in Discord, it was like I was like, okay, I want the next green takes red, or the 1 minute, like I want a bar. And then it went down, and so I went to the name, and as it was going up, I just got in it because you could just see the relative strength. It's like I don't have to wait for the 2 minute bar because here's my entry, here's the pullback. If it doesn't work, I have an easy stop. I look for the same thing in other names in Google. It's like, oh man, look at this crazy move. Okay, so we have this nice move. Let's just wait for a pullback and digestion on the stochastics to get to where I want them to be, and on the 1 minute chart at least. And you just come up with something that you're looking for that's consistent, which is just a pullback that will give you an entry. And then you take it. And I'm not saying you have to let it ride, because a lot of times the trade can be over quicker than that. It's not about holding it for a certain amount of time. It's just about finding that consistency. And that's what's been consistent right now for me. Next week it might be scalping. Next week I might be like, yo, guys, I'm just scalping, hyper scalping every 1 minute breakout in Tesla. You just got to buy it. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. But right now, when I sit down tomorrow at the computer in the morning, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to have my charts. I'll go see what's weak and what's strong and see where the market's at. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait and see how things open. I'm going to sit here and watch things for a second, maybe do a few test trades. If there's something that's near a trigger, sure, I'm going to take it. It's not like I force myself not to trade. But I'm going to wait for something like, okay, these names are stronger, or these names are weaker, the market's doing this. Let's wait for this. And I'm going to watch for that, and I'm going to take it. And if all I do is find 1 or 2 trades, and I'll do a lot more than that, but, that pay you like that, or even half of that, I can make a living. That's just what I have to remind myself. It's like I don't have to take them all. I don't have to make them all. I just have to find my edge right now and take it, and then I can be done. And that's really what I've been looking for. And, not to beat a dead horse, I've said it a couple of times today, but that's what I've been watching for in the market. That's what I'm going to continue to watch for. That's what I'm going to sit down tomorrow. I'm not going to think, I don't know, maybe we pull down. Maybe we have an inside day. Maybe we break down some tomorrow and then go back up. Yeah, Apple. I've heard. I hadn't traded Apple in so long, but it seems like it has been very tradable, Rebecca. I definitely want to. Apple's definitely on my watch list. Let's just put it that way. Apple's definitely renewed on my watch list, and I might do test trades in it in the near future to see if I can make money in it. Yeah, selectively. There's nothing wrong with selectively doing it. And then within a time frame, it's like if Amazon scalping is working, I'll jump over to Amazon and I'll scalp, and then I'll stop. And Mitchell had a great post earlier in Discord, and I really appreciate him sharing. And I don't have to go into it here, but about his day yesterday and scalping Amazon. And I've been in that mindset so many times of like, hey, let's just make a little bit of back, or and then before you know it, it goes, and it can go that quickly. Been there so many times and messed up so many times. And so it's still going to happen to me. I'm still going to, have that happen many, many times. So it's just a part of doing this job. And I know it's going to continue to happen to me. So I just have to be cautious and try to be ever vigilant and adapting. And now that I've made back what I lost, I don't look at it. I don't look at it that way. But now the temptation is to be like, okay, now I can make more or whatever. And I have no idea what the rest of the week's going to look like. What if Russia nukes Kiev? What's the market going to do? What if there's peace talks that come out? What's the market going to do? We don't know. And I don't know. All I know is that when I sit down, I can spot relative strength and relative weakness, and I can try to find an opportunity there to make a play and to make an intelligent, smart trade, to make a living. And whether it's hyper scalping or finding good pullbacks and then taking them and letting them ride a little bit because that's the plan, not because I'm trying to make more money, but because there's a level I'm looking for, I'll be able to find that. Chewy. I have not made money in NVIDIA. That is a name I have not made money in. Is this the... This is the 1 minute chart. Oh man. Chewy today. Dude, relative strength. Is that a lot of money? Actually, never mind. I mean, I guess it is. It's like, yeah, it's a $4 move and a $50 name, and then pulling down. Yeah. Definitely a mover there. Look at that triple bottom, too. Or not really triple bottom, but look at that. Meh. Maybe if it ever gets above this level. Interesting chart anyway. A lot of charts that are interesting right now, guys. I've been doing some scans and stuff, like individual scans of names, and I was like, man, I wonder what Zoom is doing. And I was looking at daily stuff. I can get out of this actually and just go to my... And I was like, oh, I wonder what Zoom is doing. You know, a lot of these names are back to like pre-COVID levels. And I'm like, man, it's almost like they didn't, like there's some money to be had. There's some swing positions that are going to make some money. And some good long-term entries and stuff. Is that what this is? I've missed all this move in Apple. And I've seen it some days, and I've wanted to trade it, but I was trading other things. But that's interesting in Apple here. A lot of strength. You can't see it, but yeah, a lot of strength these last couple of days with the market. Definitely, it's nowhere near COVID levels. Like of all the names relatively to the market, Apple is definitely not doing bad at all. So, great name. I haven't made money in it in a while. Maybe I'll add that to my watch list of names to try to get. But yeah, guys, do y'all have any questions or anything? I don't mean to like go whatever, but that pullback and that call out today, you know, that's what I've just been looking for is one or two of those. When I catch that, my size instantly goes down. I don't even care what I made or what I didn't make. It's just like, all right, down to under 5 contracts. And if I'm going to stay here, I'm just going to small scalp stuff and that's it. That's been my mindset. It's been working for me. I don't know what'll work tomorrow, but I'm going to try to do the same thing. Excuse me. Thoughts for me before or questions or comments or, you know, anything before I bounce my happy self to bed. I'm very grateful for the room, though, and the ability to grow and to learn here. Nice. Okay. Yeah. That's what I talk about with like incorporating, because let's face it, Jay and others, nobody here can do what other people do for the most part. Like exactly. Like I can't trade exactly like Kelly, and I don't want to, other than, you know, partially. But I can't trade like him. I can't trade like y'all. Y'all can't trade exactly like do the exact. You have to find something that works for you. And within everything I say, you might disagree with 90% of it or not be able to use 90% of it. But my focus on everything in the Discord room and everything on the YouTube is there something I say that can make you money immediately? Like, is there strategies that I'm calling out? Is there psychological stuff? Is there something that I'm putting out that's like, this can make me money right now? That's the only thing I care about. And so we have some understanding of what Kelly does. Okay, within that, like he's buying at this level, he's doing that. Yeah, that's fine. Guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to try to buy where he does. I might buy on his third ad as it's pulling down and it's near the very bottom of his range, which would also be the bottom of where I would like it because it's at a 15-minute pivot or it's at an hourly level of support. And it's like, yeah, I'm going to buy near that support because now I don't have a lot of risk. of where it could go. It's either going to really break down and then the longs are done, or it's going to go up. And those are the levels I look for. I'm really looking forward to what JR puts out, his training stuff that he's got coming. I'm really pumped for that. I can't wait to watch it. I hope it comes out. I have no idea. I have no inside information. I think they would want to have it done before the open house. That's just my guess, is if they're rebranding and doing stuff, they'd want it done in the open house. But there's a reason we're called the Market Bandits. There's a reason we're market focused, or we're bandit focused. You know, take your money and run. If the market's just going to give you one or two, ways to make it, take the money and get out. You're not going to go broke doing that. You're going to go broke if you're trying to catch the next 5 figures or the next this or the next that. That's been my, what I've just had to tell myself every day. So I'll continue to use Discord, continue to use the trade feature and post winners and losers in there. I really encourage you guys to do the same. Even after the day, like the trade review, doing at least 1 or 2 of my trades in the in there. It's just, there's just a lot of things that a lot of ways that you can help yourself if you're struggling. So if y'all don't have anything else for me, see if I missed anything in chat. Nope. So yeah, if y'all don't have anything else for me, I mean, I'll call it for tonight's show. I'm gonna go to bed, rest up, so I feel good and ready in the morning. I'll record tomorrow. Probably no show tomorrow. There will be a show on Friday. CT hasn't been here, so I'm not sure if he'll join me. Maybe I'll see if JR or Eddie or Rose or somebody else wants to come on with me, so it's not just another with me. So either way, I'll try to have a guest host on Friday's show. I'll be in Discord tomorrow. Link to Discord's in the chat. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already done that, guys. Really appreciate everything. Appreciate you spending your evening with me. You all are the best. I'll catch you tomorrow. Get rest, and let's keep trading smart, guys. Deuces.